I'm not surprised, motherfuckers.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Courtside Soundoff podcast. Once again, I'm Josh Soundoff. As always, welcome by the one and only hater of the hour, too sweet to be always.
I kind of like that.
Hater of the hour? You like that? He's never sweet.
That could have been
always
a banger
sour.
podcast
Yeah.
name.
I like that.
The hate of the hour.
The hater hour?
The hater hour.
The hate of the hour. I don't know. Either one I feel like kind of works.
You know, if we ever have to like rebrand or we expand to anything or just we're like, hey, we just want to build another podcast.
we're going to end this podcast and then just talk about like other stuff.
Talk about just about news, just other
talk
things, just
about
random
news.
topics,
Yeah.
just some bullshit
Yeah,
podcast.
some bullshit. Yeah.
And it's like, welcome to the hater hour.
This is episode 1, actually.
Of the hater hour.
We're starting off hot.
So first topic, guys, John Jones. No, I was kidding.
All right,
We'll get there eventually.
First topic of the show, who did you guys vote for? Comment down below.
Great way to get on.
Yeah, exactly.
Not get
Anyways.
monetized.
Yeah, anyways, so we're brought to you by a few sponsors of the show. Rogue Energy, ELYXR, BetMGM. Rogue Energy, ELYXR, go to those links down below, or you can use code SOUNDOFF to check out code SOUNDOFF once again for 10% off of all their amazing products. However, there's a lot of sports going on. We have UFC 316 Fight Week with the pay-per-view on Saturday night going down from, I believe, the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. However, we also have the NBA Finals going. It is Finals week, boys. I've been blessed. You know, the Chiefs, I don't care what anybody says. Still, I mean, we're a dynasty in the NFL. And in the NBA, my Oklahoma City Thunder are now starting their dynasty this week.
Also, Mahomes, isn't Mahomes like 29, dude? Like,
Mahomes is not even 30. Yeah, he
That's
turns
what
30 in like October or November.
that's what I'm saying. We still got some time.
God, dude. I mean, look, Midwest. We may not have much, but we got sports. Goddamn it, Midwest, Midbest. That's all I'm saying. Okay. I guess Oklahoma's technically in the South, but what are you gonna do?
Is it actually technically considered in the South?
I think according to the
when-
census, yeah.
When you look at the graph,
Yeah, I think according to like the U.S. Census, it is. But I think, but it's also kind of like
because people don't realize Chicago's in the Midwest.
Yeah, I see people say Kansas is in the Midwest, and that makes no sense to me considering we're like right in the middle of the country. I don't know where else we could be. You know?
I think the thing that throws them off is hearing West.
Yeah, probably.
Like we're in the mid, but not like Midwest. Just sounds odd.
Yeah. Point being, if you want to follow that link down below, you get up to $1,500 in bonus bets paid back. If you do not hit, contact 1-800-GAMBLER if you're having any issues. But if you want to have some fun with us, if you want to make some money possibly and throw some money down on the Oklahoma City Thunder to go ahead and win their first championship, go ahead and follow that link down below. And if you don't hit, then you get some money back. But you're gonna hit.
Maybe some parlays too.
Maybe there's a lot of parlay potential. Same game parlays. You go ahead and go. Hey man,
I'm sure they'll have some free throw options for Shake.
Yeah, you're right. Very funny. Very.
All jokes aside, I'm sure there's not a lot of plus money on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as much as I was gonna be like a dick, but like honestly, it doesn't really bother me. It's in the same way like people are like, oh, the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes win by cheating. Like, sure, dude. Whatever you got to tell yourself to make yourself sleep at night. Like, I don't care. Like, honestly, like my team's winning and your team's got bounced in the first round. Why would I give a fuck?
They're winning the games. I mean, I don't think there's any controversy there.
Yeah. Also, I'm just saying. I mean, Denver had 20 more free throws in their series than we did. Jokic had more than Shea. Never a conversation, but
granted, though, Jokic literally had to play like Superman.
He did. I felt bad for him. I got to be honest. I did feel bad for him.
Dude, this NBA offseason to be crazy. But you know something that I've come to learn? Like now, I used to be like, dude, this is like, you remember for a while they were like, dude, this is crazy. It's the NBA offseason. But I'm like, I've now realized that's just the NBA.
Yeah, that's just the NBA. Dude, just bounce from team to team to team to team. You know,
especially
like,
the modern NBA.
The lifer guys are that era is over. You know, like of guys staying in one place for a long time. You know, and especially with like all the salary cap shit.
How's hockey? Is hockey pretty good about that?
I mean, they're better than the NBA, but I don't know how good they are. Like I said, like I told you this.
As far as sticking around, you think the NFL, at least as far as like U.S. sports, is pretty.
The NFL and I mean the NBA is the worst. I'd say probably MLB is probably the best. Honestly,
I guess you make a good point. Well,
because MLB,
really?
I mean, you got to think about it. A lot of those guys are staying in the minor leagues for 1, 2, 3 seasons. They get up, maybe they have some success. They play themselves into a second contract. Boom, you've already been on a team for 10 years. A lot of guys have only finished out 10. I mean, guys like Albert Pujols, who played for like 25 fucking seasons, only had like 3 or 4 teams just because of how the system works. Like they spend a lot of time in the minors, a little, longer contracts. So they'll give out 10-year contracts like it's nothing in the MLB. So pretty crazy stuff. But yeah, the NBA is the worst.
How's there still so much money in baseball, dude? It throws me off.
Because baseball is such a weird sport, man. I'm pretty sure it's just licensing, and honestly, like a lot of people, a lot of teams do terrible on attendance, but the ones that are good are always packed.
And then
the Yankee Stadium's always packed. You know what I mean? Like the Dodgers do really well every single year. Like the big market teams do really, really well. So like they're kind of just doing a big.
They're
hard
generating
carry.
a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, from my understanding, somebody of more, enthusiastic and knows more about the business could probably say it better than me. But yeah, it's from my understanding, it's like high attendance and high populace.
When you explain it like that, though, I'm seeing it though. It makes sense, and also like those teams you mentioned, like they're places people travel to. People go to a game. Like, I got a buddy who came from Europe and actually, like you said, went to a game, went to a Yankees game.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're not like a baseball fan, like I'm not even a huge baseball fan, but like I'll still go to a baseball game.
Yeah,
like I'm going to a baseball game in August. I'm probably going to go to a few this year. Granted, Royals are pretty good, so it's easier.
I haven't been to one in forever, and they actually have like players in like pretty good, like highly rated as far as like individual positions right now.
Yeah. Bobby Witt Jr. still got little Salvador Perez. We still got.
Homie's still going. By the way, he went to like a food truck like right down the street from where I live.
Really?
Venezuelan food truck.
Dude, he's the best guy in town. I mean, anybody that I've never heard a bad story about him.
A loyalist, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think he like I saw like 2 or 3 months ago, like he just in KCK, like he was driving down the street and saw some kids playing baseball outside, and then he hopped in their game. I was like, dude, that's such a Salvador Perez thing to do. Like, what a fucking guy.
Dude, that's the thing that's died off in the States, I've heard. Like, as far as like people just outside, like it was like you have a baseball field everywhere in the US and people would be playing baseball outside, just kids going out, like Sandlot type of shit. And that's
I mean, I feel like whenever we were kids, I feel like people played, like, even if you weren't like on a team, you go to the basketball court and just play like, on the field.
I think people they'll bullshit. It sounds funny, but like, were we some of the last generation to go outside still?
Yeah, I mean, we're not that old. I mean, I'm 23, you're 24.
But
like we're not.
But dude, like looking back, it's crazy to say now, but looking back 10 years ago, dude, I remember. I know, right? But even past 10 years, like even like 12, 13 years, dude, I remember I pretty religiously, and not even like because I was good, but it was just like a thing to do at my apartment complex. We would play basketball all the time.
Yeah,
and it was middle school kids, even younger kids sometimes, high school kids. Fuck, we'd even have adults that lived there just playing ball.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know, man, and I hate to be like the old man because I feel like everybody does this once they get to a certain age, and we're not even that old. I feel like we're not at the age we should be doing, but like, oh man, the next generation just they're so dumb, or they're way different. Everything's changed. But like, dude, like, yeah, I feel like we're kind of the last generation to go outside, man. Like
how often do you drive? I'm pretty sure I see kids playing outside. Dude.
Who was it? Was talking about this on a podcast? I think it was like might have been LeBron's podcast. They were talking about this. How like now, like people that play sports, kids. They don't go out and do it for fun anymore. It's like, oh, from the age of 10, they're putting into an AAU league, or they're putting like these leagues where they can essentially develop and actually play the game in this certain way. So yeah, I mean, I absolutely get.
And dude, and then like also like I was hearing someone talk about this, but even like in politics, like people get money and shit like that, and it's like, oh, why is this kid starting, not that kid starting and shit,
Oh yeah,
because I was listening to this one guy who played like on an academy team for soccer, and he was like, yeah, dude, he's like, I would see like great players not get playing time.
Yeah,
that's like a whole nother subsection to like kid sports, which is kind of fucked, but it is a thing. But dude, no, genuinely, like, how often do you see like
paying off my son's coach with $200,000 so he can start in my little league game?
No, but genuinely, dude, like, how often do you go out and just see kids or just someone young like out with their friends? Like, very rarely, dude.
Yeah, I mean, come to think of it, like I live right by a park, and we have a volleyball court and we have a basketball court. And the only time I see people playing is like people my age. I don't think I've ever seen anybody below the age of like 22. Like,
I mean,
like,
I get it. I get it. The world's fucked now too. Don't get it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'd be if I were a kid in this society. I'd probably be menace.
But like once in a blue moon, very rarely, dude. And I live in a neighborhood, and there's a decent amount of families. Like, I'll very rarely see like just kids outside doing anything.
Yeah, they're too busy. They're too busy on TikTok, man. Too busy
on the box, on the PC, on Reddit,
on Discord. Just
some dude.
Some real fucked up shit. Going on 4chan and Twitter and
Jesus.
So anyways,
our rant about the world is
that's my rant. It's not really much of a rant.
And by the way, guys, we're not even done, because if you think we're bitching now or complaining or just being nostalgic, it's not going to stop.
Don't worry. The rant, the hater of the hour, the hate hour, man. Here we go. UFC Vegas 107.
Dude, that'd be such a good logo too. Hate, so hate, and then the number 8.
I like that. The hate hour.
Maybe I should develop it, and maybe we put it in the background just as a
I like that
placeholder
callback. Yeah. Nonetheless. This card sucked. This card sucked a fat one. It was terrible. It was garbage. It was bad. There's no good way to put it. I mean, there's sometimes we come on the show and we're like, you know what? This card, it might have not been great, but at least there's this highlight. There's that highlight. There were 2 finishes the entire night. The main event dropped out during the wall.
I thought it was 3.
There was 2. There was Ramis Formage's.
No.
Oh, I guess you know what? You're right. I forgot Jordan Levitt. So there were 3 finishes. 3 finishes the whole night. Main event fell out during the main event. Aaron Blanchfield walking to the cage. Macy Barber cannot make her walk and fight off. This is the pinnacle of what the UFC is in 2025. This is just like if I had to pick one card to encapsulate what this whole year has been, it would be this card.
Dude, no bullshit. A regional event would have been more entertaining.
Dude, I've watched PFL cards better than this. Not even close, by the way.
PFL's
really not even good PFL
As
cards.
the PFL enjoyer here, though, the PFL has put on some pretty banger cards.
PFL's actually it's been very quiet, but they've had a good 2025.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Fight quality-wise. Promotional-wise, different story.
Oh, promotional-wise, they're still bad. But like the fights.
Yeah.
You know.
But I was to say, dude, you put it well. Like, me who usually will not necessarily defend the Apex cards, but I was like, look, there's some bright spots. There is literally no bright spots. And, dude, I was banking on Blanchfield and Aaron to kind of not necessarily save the card. But I could have been like, oh, yeah, we kind of had what we expected with Mateus. But look, we had that finish. We had that KO by Jacoby. And we had the Jordan Love. Outside of that, wasn't that great. It was okay. It was... Then that happening to end it all was just like the worst of the worst. Where it was just like, dude, and it ended late. It was the first time where I was sitting there and I'm like... And like I said, genuinely, I've been able to put up with it. I've been pretty calm about it. And like I said, I find bright spots. But I was like, what the fuck am I here? No,
I get it.
I was actually like, why the fuck? Why did I show up for this? And conveniently, we didn't meet up. Like our friend group didn't meet up for this one.
Yeah.
And I was actually happy that we did it.
Yeah.
I even told my buddy, like, I was like, dude, I'm glad we weren't there.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I'm happy you went to go do what you wanted to do.
You know what's so funny? I had off Saturday. I was like, you know what? I might go hang out with the boys, see what they're doing. And I saw literally where I was thinking that I saw you like put something in the Discord chat. And I saw you guys in the Discord. I'm like, oh fuck, even they're not watching this fucking thing. It's just like, yeah, dude.
And, if it would have been a stat card, maybe I would have gone with them. But it was
so bad.
It was so bad. Yeah. No.
And you really were banking for as much as people shit on women's MMA. That main event was a good main event. You were banking on it. You needed that for this card, and with that, and it's one thing for it to fall out. But during the ring walks, are you fucking kidding? They're no main event, just ending like, sorry guys, Macy Barber can't walk.
Cards with over. Her hands on her head too, puts her head on the table.
And you know what the worst part is? Is like this happen. I don't know what it is about UC Apex events, but this happens like I'd say a couple times a year, just not this late. You know,
dude, she had granted, guys, she had a fucking seizure. It is what it is.
Yeah, of course.
But I will say, dude, it was just the collectiveness of everything
of the whole week. Yeah.
And you know what's funny? I was looking at the Derek Lewis card, and I was like, because after this, we have 7 events outside of the Apex.
Thank God.
Dude, the Derek Lewis card, even for the main event for not to be something great, then when we get there, incredibly, incredibly well constructed, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at it and I was like, dude, this is genuinely a well put together card. This is how you put a card together. And I'll bring it up whenever we get there here in a few weeks. And I think it'll be like a month away in reality. Yeah. But fuck, dude, this just fucking blew, and it's sad because there's not much to talk about. I mean, we're gonna probably fly through it. Like the Gamrot one pretty much was what we thought. People were begging on Ludwig though.
I thought Ludwig Klein was gonna do better,
but once it got taken down, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it was academic, really. I mean, it was not. Let's be honest here, it wasn't a very good fight either. I mean, it was Gamrot getting a win that he needed, and
not even needed. He just wanted to.
I mean,
just activity, just looking good for the matchmamakers and getting his name out there.
Yeah.
Dude, but and I said on the show, I was like, look, it's traditional striker versus wrestler, and it played out you would think, but you were just banking on more. And I had gone on Reddit, I had gone on r/MMA betting, and I had like kind of just curious because like especially nowadays, like I'm kind of trying to be a little bit more aggressive with my betting, just for fun, just a little hobby thing. And there was a lot of people that were like, oh, I think Klein might do something. People on TikTok were saying stuff. I was just looking through comments, and for it to be that was kind of a letdown, just honestly for me. But I also like, you can go back. I mean, you know this. I've been a very hesitant person with the Ludwig Klein, in his tenure in the UFC. So that's why I was like, and I think if you would have listened to prior shows and coming into this one, you would have been like, damn, why is he kind of turning his back on his boy? Well, this is why.
Yeah, I mean, look, I had higher expectations for this main event, I guess, in terms of Ludwig Klein putting forth something. I mean, he came in here real hot, hadn't lost in quite a few years. Yeah, I mean, he got completely dominated. I mean, there's not a whole lot for me to really say about it. I mean, just it was what it was. He got controlled for 15 minutes, essentially. I mean, I don't know the exact time, but yeah, I mean, it was academic for Mateus Gamrot in this main event.
Who would have known that Ramiz Ramaj and Billy Ray Goff would technically be the co-main event?
Co-main event Yeah, just Jesus Christ. Ramiz Ramaj, first round submission win. Good for him.
And another one, dude. People were disappointed about this one. They had higher expectations for Billy Ray Goff, and it did. Then he got submitted in the first round.
I didn't expect him to win, but I thought he's another guy I thought he would at least perform amicably.
I mean, to give you an idea, he was a minus 400 betting favorite.
Yeah, that's actually surprising. I mean, I guess Ramaj is not some killer, but
dude, getting submitted in the first round,
yeah,
minus 400. I mean, the expectation was there. I mean,
that's tough.
He's 26. He's got time. He can recover. 170's full of animals. I mean, hopefully for him, he can get a little win streak going here. But
I'm gonna ask you a question because I was thinking about this. Is this all context included, and you go through the entire promotion's history? I don't think I can think of a worse UFC card than this. Everything considered.
I don't know. We've had some bad ones, but dude, for me personally, this will go down personally in my almost 10 years of watching the sport as one of the worst cards. I mean, the worst card for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, 14-year veteran here checking in. I'm gonna say it's the worst. I mean, in my time watching, you've had some really bad ones.
Is there one that just comes to mind? Maybe not necessarily the worst, but just some.
UFC 208 is really bad. That was I want to say it was a Brooklyn card. That was Holly Holm, Jermaine Durandamy, which on paper the card actually looked pretty decent. I think, but also there were a redeeming factor to that one, and I believe that was the Dustin Poirier, Jim Miller, just banger. But then you saw that Anderson Silva, Derek Brunson, it's a terrible fight and terrible decision.
Yeah, I remember.
Glover Teixeira, Jared Cannonier. Jared was too young at the time, got dominated, wasn't entertaining. I think 9 out of 10 fights went to decision.
Do you remember the kind of Ireland card that was supposed to have Conor on it, which had was it Paddy O'Houlihan? Did that even end up having was that was
a decent card?
It was a decent
all
card.
Things considered.
All things considered, that ended up being a decent card.
Yeah. So that one. Let me pull that one up real quickly. If I remember correctly, that one originally it was going to be Conor, and then I want to say it was going to be Dustin Poirier against oh my god, what was his name? Irish dude boxer who actually beat
Joe
Conor.
Duffy.
Yeah, Joe Duffy. Didn't end up happening. So it ended up being, I want to say, was it Louis Smolka who fought?
Was that going to set up for a potential Conor rematch with Joe Duffy?
They were trying to set it up, bro.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were trying to set it up. Houlihan versus Smolka. Yeah, Paddy Houlihan. Yeah, I mean, that card was actually decent. I mean, if you look it up, there were a couple of finishes on the night of. Actually, a lot of finishes.
If I remember
a young Darren Till on that one put out a fun fight.
Another bad card that we had, I can't remember. It was a few years ago. It was a Michelle Watterson one in the Apex, if you remember. That was pretty rough too.
Was that Watterson versus man, I think I know the one you're talking about. This is actually a good shout, I think. Fabricio Verdum versus Marcin Tybura in Australia. I think that was a 17 fight card or something insane, and I think the entire main card went to decision. There were 3 finishes the whole night, and I'm not even going to count how many fights that was, but that's a really bad one way back in the day during the Fox era. I think I know the card you're talking about. Oh my god, you know what? I just hit it, Angel. I don't think this one. I think this one's actually better. But Cynthia Calvillo just got. Remember that card back in 2020?
I mean, I remember hearing it. I remember it, but I don't remember the card itself. You might have to show it to me here physically.
Rodriguez Watterson. Is that the one you're thinking of? This one?
Maybe.
Cowboy Morono in the co-main. A lot of decisions.
Which ended up kind of being a banger, right?
Yeah. Decent fight.
Yeah. 27 in there. The glare is kind of fucking me here, but it is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There we go. Neil Magny, Jeff Neal.
That one's up there too, I think.
Had decisions. Gregor Gillespie, Carlos Ferreira. I remember that.
That was a good fight though.
Wasn't that Ferreira coming off that Pettis one?
Yep.
Yeah, so that was kind of Michael. What is that? Yeah,
Michael Trezano versus Ludwig Klein.
Isn't that fucking hilarious?
Ludwig Klein now main eventing, by the way. So.
Now attached to another shitty fight card.
Maybe it was Watterson versus Hill that you're thinking of. I don't know. There was a lot of bad Apex cards.
So what is this Jessica I one you're talking about? Or is this the one you showed me?
Jessica I versus Cynthia Calvillo. Oh my god, dude. This one was like their third card back whenever they were like, oh yeah, we're back. We're not holding shit
Was
back.
This before Jessica got a head kick by
This was after.
This is after? Oh,
so Cynthia Calvillo, Jessica I main event, Marvin Vettori, Carl Roberson, co-main, Charles Rosa, decision, Andre Fili, decision, Jordan Espinosa, decision, Maria Agapova. That was a fun fight against Hannah Cyphers. A young Merab and not a very fun fight.
30-26 and then 30-25 to go.
Yeah. There were a couple finishes, but I suppose it's night that also had Tyson Nam.
You had Gina Mazzani and Julia Vila.
What a fantastic fight.
Tyson Nam, that KO I fucking remember.
I remember that. That's the only thing I remember out of this card, bro.
Christian Aguilar and Anthony Ivy. Holy fuck. Though this card started off strong, it just went so south so quick. And it started with Merab, which is I mean,
fitting for this week because
Yeah, I know, right?
I mean, I don't know if I want to cut straight into 316. Just to kind of recap. I mean,
we gotta go a few
of the fights. Caitlin Vieira versus Macy Chiasson was terrible. Dustin Jacoby got a nice win.
And he had a lot of doubters coming into this week, and I'm happy for him. What can he do in the short time he has? I don't know, but I hope he can. I think he's maximizing himself. By the way,
he's maximized his potential. I think
probably, but
he just got kind of shafted whenever he won like 8 fights in a row, and I think they only put him like 14 during that whole time. Like,
no, his progression was not as bad. And look, who knows, dude? You never know. And this, hopefully, he can get a big opportunity and like earn some big time money at least. But dude, to the point too, you talk about shafted. He didn't even get a bonus on this. He was one of the 3 finishes on this fight card.
That's insane.
And he didn't even get a bonus. And he had the best finish in my opinion.
I thought so too.
And look, I personally enjoy submissions a lot too. And the fact that, and you know, a lot of times chaos can just be just good, but I felt like this one was deserving of. He deserved those 50 Gs, and I felt like this one, it felt wrong for him not to receive at least. I mean,
he beat a guy who's 14-1, a young kid. He lost a lot coming in here. Like, that was a really solid win.
He was a slight favorite, you know.
But I mean, no offense to Kurt Hollabaugh, but I mean, forget even when to Jordan Levitt for beating Kurt Hollabaugh. I don't see why you can't give.
And the thing is, Kurt Hollabaugh got ran over. You know, and granted, Bruno did too, but it built up to it. Like, he didn't get instantly taken down and fucking submitted in Anaconda. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's a. Damn, man.
By the way, going back to Kayla Harrison and Macy Chiasson, that one disappointed me. I thought it was a bit better.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about it last week. They both put on some really good fights.
But you saw Caitlin's physicality just fucking overpower.
Yeah, Macy. I mean, and that's the thing. She's very, very strong. And for as much as we were saying last week, she could put on really fun fights. She's also put on some really terrible fights in her time, too. Especially if she knows she has a size advantage. She could just kind of hold somebody against the fence. Or,
well, dude, she had MBS.
You know. Yeah. I mean,
her versus MBS, which was kind of disappointing. I thought it was going to be better.
Yeah. Zach Reese picked up a win.
I thought that was, once again, another fight I thought was going to be better.
Alan Nascimento defeating Jalil Filo. That was fine.
It was a good flyweight fight.
Yeah, missed weight, but...
Yeah, that's the issue, though.
Jordan Levitt picked up a win. We still love Jordan Levitt here. Great gatekeeper as far as the top 15 goes. I think he's kind of like one of those guys like...
By the way, no longer twerking. Did you hear he retired from twerking in the cage?
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He came out and made a statement. Because they said... I forgot who. I think it was Senka who said it. They were like, Jordan Levitt ran so... Eileen Perez could walk.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, man. Hey.
And he was like, yeah, I did, you know?
End of an era.
You know? He's like, I might twerk tonight, though. But he's like, you know, I got $2 now. I'm about to turn 30. He's like, I think I got to stop.
My twerking, I mean, I guess it's easy to forget. The dude's like 25 when he got in. And
dang, really?
I mean, mathematically, he debuted in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
Dude, time flies.
Yeah, I mean, good for him. I like Jordan Levitt a lot. So
he was a fun character to have, dude. It was just fun having.
We need guys like Jordan Levitt to use. We need more. I mean, it sounds weird, but like not necessarily like him, but like guys who are like going to be unauthentically themselves. Like
also, he's turning heads. He's bringing attention, whether it's negative or not. And as long as he's still himself and happy, it's whatever, right?
Yeah, they're going to be authentic with themselves, and I think that we have a lot of guys who are inauthentic, and we don't really have a lot of guys who are actually interesting. So if you don't like Jordan Levitt, I'm like, okay. He's trying to be himself. He's doing
dude, more than ever in this era of MMA, and you could probably attest to this a lot more than I can, but we're in a stage where people will inherently hate on guys for them just being literally themselves. Like,
they would much rather have generic carbon copy Colby Covington's.
Yeah, you know, and the thing is, it's like we also like think about oh my god, what's his name who just lost recently? Young kid, 135er.
Peyton Talbot.
You know, Peyton Talbot, Izzy, you know, Jordan Levitt. You know, name anybody who tries to be like who's just not, you know, just
doesn't fit the mold.
Doesn't fit the traditional mold of a fighter or the mold whatever the mold that these people want. It's yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say about it. I mean, that's a bigger conversation about where MMA. Hey, but Julianna Pena likes anime and cosplays. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right?
No. Bullseye Oki defeated Michael Oswell.
By the way, I love how his Tapology pictures him with the Nigerian flag. But then I think he reps Belgium. Am I correct?
Yeah, you're right. He reps Belgium. So there you go.
There's nothing wrong. He can represent for it, but I just think it's funny he's holding that flag.
I got you.
And then he's got that as his set nationality.
I got you. The Zulu Warrior. Wow.
I like that.
I like that nickname. And then Alice Ardeline picked up a win in a fight that did happen allegedly.
By the way, you low key kind of shit on this fight, and then they ended up getting a fight of the night.
It's very fitting, yeah. I mean, this is a fight. I mean, I guess somebody had to win fight of the night, so
no, they didn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess you're right. Actually, they haven't been giving those out. But I mean, if there was a fight of the night, I guess I would pick this one. You know?
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah. definitely.
Poor. It's just something sits wrong with me. The fact that those two women got $50K and Dustin Jacoby didn't. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's not their fault, obviously, but
And good for them. They got 50 grand. Like awesome. Like getting
good, perfect.
Dude, an undercard fighter getting a bonus is like, dude. The feeling is. I mean, dude, Malcolm Wellmaker left his job because he won his debut and got the bonus, and he was banking. He's like, if I get the bonus, I can leave my job.
Yeah,
and be a full-time fighter.
Yeah, man, it's huge for them. So I'm not trying to shit on them specifically. It's just like, damn, dude, like
you also, but you should
feel for the guys who didn't get.
You should. There was someone else on this card who deserved to be rewarded, and that was Dustin Jacoby. Despite how shitty it was, it sucks that he got the shit end of the stick like that.
Exactly. Anyways, man, we're gonna move on because this card's actually, I mean, it's not the deepest pay-per-view card, but for the main card, I'll say I actually like the main card a lot. Kind of falls off a little bit. We still got some stuff in the undercard. Nonetheless,
this is good enough to get us going into the 7th streak of fights outside of the 8th.
And then we got a big fight card next week. So
what is it next week?
Kamaru Buckley with Co-Main, Rose, Maverick, Edmund Shabazi, and Andre Petrosky, Cody Garbrandt, Hunter Barcelos. A couple other names.
This would be a fucking movie, dude.
Yeah, Ricky Simone, Charles Jourdain. That should be. The guys are gonna kill each other. So yeah, I mean, but nonetheless. UFC 316 going down June 7th, this Saturday night for the Prudential Center in New York, New Jersey.
Dude, I didn't even know. I didn't even know where this was going down at until just now that you said it.
Dude, what is? Okay, so nonetheless,
did you just get fucked up on Wikipedia,
dude? I want you to. What is Merab's fucking Wikipedia page? Like, what is his picture, dude? Where did they get that from? I gotta pop this up on the screen and make a video about this.
That looks like that guy from that one country who's a dictator over there. You know what? You know who?
Ramzan Kadyrov? Is that his name? I don't know why we can't say the name. I mean, it's not like he's not like I'm not a dictator. Like he's just like guys are getting thrown out of windows, man. I mean, what are you gonna do? I mean,
man, we're going Kanye on this show. Like you're just dropping shit.
I'm kidding. Anyways, so in the main event, Merab Dvalishvili will be taking on Sean O'Malley again. Merab, obviously, we know the story here. Beat Sean last September, unanimous decision win, 49-46 is across the board, I believe. Maybe 48-40. We had 148-47. Nonetheless, he later defended the gold against Umar Nurmagomedov in January in an incredible fight. Sean O'Malley has not competed since then. He took time off, getting the instant rematch. What do you make of it, man? According to the current line from our friends over at BetMGM, Merab Dvalishvili will be entering this title defense as a minus 285 favorite. Sean O'Malley coming back as a plus 230. What do you make of it?
I mean, ball is in Sean's court, man. I mean, we know how Merab's going to fight. He's pretty much set in his ways. Really, it's just up to Sean to come in and give us different looks from last time. And there was injuries. There was other stuff that was going on there that he had mentioned. And, it kind of, it makes sense. He wasn't able to grapple for some weeks leading up to the fight. I think Merab's 30. He's 30. He's 34 now. I thought he was older for some reason. Look, this fight's either going to go the same or it's going to be closer, and Sean's going to win. That's pretty much it. Because Sean had there was a potential road to victory in the first fight. It didn't happen. And also, as far as like the Merab, like all the Merab performances, the Sean O'Malley one was probably the most underwhelming because it didn't feel like much of anything happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like he won, it happened, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean,
even by Merab standards, that wasn't even that like.
Yeah, I get it.
It was kind of like a win because dude, we had Merab out here fucking 50-45ing fucking Piotr Yan, pretty much, like just to give like a perspective to just getting a decision over Sean, like just
I mean he won. I mean for all things included, like it was a less dominant performance than he's had against other guys.
And great, that was a former champ. Sean's a high level guy. He's shown good stuff on the ground. He's good enough takedown defense, and also he's a dangerous striker.
Yeah.
Look, I chose Sean last time because I said, look, I think there's maybe like 2 or 3 guys in this division that even have a chance at beating Merab. And Sean is definitely still one of those for me, just because his striking is so dangerous. We saw the body shot lead in the fight that Merab said that he just ate some yogurt and used that as an excuse. I think that's some fucking bullshit and a half.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Look, that fucking gas tank has a weakness, and it's literally going to it and damaging it. I don't know if Sean's gonna be able to get to it enough. I'm gonna pick him just because I think he has the possibility of winning, and I could see him winning and reclaiming that title against Merab. If not, we know how the alternative's gonna look. It's gonna be a Merab decision more likely than not.
Yeah,
and it could be fun. It could not be fun, but I hope it's crazy, man. Like I said at the top of my statement, this is in Sean O'Malley's court. to make this fight wild and crazy and difficult for Merab.
Yeah. Exactly. Look, I'm kind of the standpoint where I'm in agreement with you that I think Sean is one of the 3 to 4 guys who can beat Merab in this division.
You said 4, I said 3 to 2, man. You're a better man than me.
I mean, look, if I were to run him down, let me pull up the rankings real quick. I'm not saying these guys would beat him. I'm saying, like, could I see them doing something? Run down the rankings. Who would I think could beat Merab? I think if Petr Yan catches him with a wild shot, maybe. I mean,
Umar, they fought, though. It's kind of hard to believe that now.
Umar can beat him. I know I'm saying. But, like, with the right adjustment, I could see him catching him and do something. You have Umar, Petr Yan, Sean O'Malley, and then I'd love to throw Sandhagen in there. I just can't. And then maybe if... Fuck, I think you're right, actually. Probably 3. Maybe if Song Yudong develops more, because you got to remember how young he is still.
We got Patchy Mix in the mix now.
Patchy Mix in the mix, too. I mean, like I said, 3 to 4
granted, we still got to see him, though.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know, man. I think with the unknown factor, I'd say yes, but I don't know. But the point being, 3 to 4, yeah. I think Sean can do it. Do I think he will? No. I think it's going to be largely a repeat. I think he's probably going to win 4 rounds. I think he's largely going to control him. I think Sean, I don't like the fact he's getting an instant rematch, not necessarily because I think, like, I think you could argue Petr deserves it more, but I get why they did this fight. For me, I think it's like, dude, if he loses this fight, you're kind of locking him out. You know what I mean? And I think he could use more fights.
He's going to move to 45. I think the weight cut. Yeah, I don't think he'll say it openly, but I think it is.
Yeah, probably. I mean, he's kind of getting that age, you know? Like, he's been fighting bantamweight his whole career.
He's 30.
Yeah.
He won in 6 months.
But it should be interesting to see him up a featherweight, man.
I
have no idea how.
Sean O'Malley's going to be a featherweight within a year and a half. Yeah. Or the next, like, 13 months. Like.
Yeah. I mean, I think, and he should move after he loses this weekend, and I think he will. Like I said, I expect it to be largely... I expect Sean to have moments like in the first fight, like a moment or two, win a round maybe, and then, but largely get dominated and controlled.
Obviously, would you be surprised, like, let's say he loses and they come over and he's like, yeah, guys, credit to Merab, yada, 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 but this weight cut's fucking killing me.
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, he's fucking 5'11" at 135. I mean, he's not, he's getting older now.
He wasn't meant to be in his division very long either. Like, it was going to be only for so long.
Exactly. I mean, he debuted at flyweight. I didn't even know that.
God damn. But he was really skinny, dude. I mean, you look at him in the Contender versus now.
That would have been 20. He was 20 years old, so it makes sense.
Yeah, almost 10 years ago now.
Yeah. Anyways, I think Merab's going to retain. I think he's largely going to do it in a dominant fashion. I think Sean will have some moments, but...
Do you want to throw a little betting prop out there for fun? This is kind of my new thing.
Merab by unanimous decision.
I like that.
I think Merab... and if you want to double down on that, throw over 2.5 rounds, over 3.5 rounds.
I like that.
Merab is... because I just think that makes more sense. I mean, it's a Merab fight, dude. I mean, it's just...
Yeah, I mean, no.
No offense to him. And I think you'd also do that, if you want to... Since we gave our predictions, I think you'd also do that for the co-main event. Julianna Pena... defending her gold against Impractical Jokers alum and former Olympic judoka, Kayla Harrison, former PFL champion as well. Just all the accolades. I don't think the fight's going to be close, but I also think Kayla's going to dominate. What do you think about that one?
This fight, I would not put any money on. It worries the hell out of me.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think Kayla should win, but at the same time, though, Kayla's such a big favorite. There's not a lot of value there.
No. I'm saying like if you were to throw literally Kayla by unanimous decision. I don't have that exact prop up here, but...
Yeah. But I think even the value on that's not that crazy. I think unless you're going to do like Kayla, like KO, because it like TKO ground and pound potentially. Like,
yeah.
Especially now that she has elbows.
Yeah.
Submission, probably not. Julianna, I think, is probably good enough there to not get submitted on the ground. Actually, I could definitely say she's defensively sound enough there. My whole thing is, dude, Julianna's scrappy, dude. We've already seen her, dude. She upset Amanda Nunes, and granted, there's factors to that and all that, but the one thing I know is Kayla's not meant to be in this division for long. She's not going to be her fight career is not going to be very long. These weight cuts are fucking killing her. She carries a lot of muscle for a woman. Probably one of the most muscular women, respectfully, that we've ever had in the sport.
Yes,
strong. One of the strongest, maybe. I don't even know who. Fuck, I don't know who you could put else in that category, but she's certainly up there. Dude, if Julianna's able to stretch this out, tire out Kayla, blow up those arms, draw it out, fuck, dude. I wouldn't be shocked if Julianna shocked us again. I'm not betting on it. I'm picking Kayla, but for me, as far as a betting option, I personally wouldn't put any units on this.
That's fair. I mean, we know this with Julianna, one of the greatest upsets in UFC history. She defeated Amanda Nunes back in 2021.
I think it's the greatest.
I mean, for me, it's top 2. I mean,
I think it's number 1. I mean, I think Sarah and GSP's up there, but I told.
I don't even have GSP. I have Bisping Rockhold number 1.
I mean, that's pretty cool too.
Because at least we saw. I mean, at least we with Matt Serra and GSP, we hadn't seen him fought before. I saw Mike Bisping get fucked up with a full camp at Luke Rockhold and stepped in on 13 days notice.
I guess you're right. Yeah, literally fucking
Made the
running
cut.
through the streets of Canada.
On a film set, walked up a film set and beat Luke Rockhold, became UFC champion.
That's pretty hard.
Incredible story.
It's because a lot of people bring up Sarah GSP still, but like I told you way back in the day.
That wasn't GSP. That was like...
What made GSP was the run that happened after that.
Exactly. That'd be like... I can't even think of an example from another sport. You know what I mean? It'd be like... Damn. Yeah. So anyways, man. Good stuff. Good stuff there. I mean, I think... Like I said, man, I think Kayla's going to get the job done. But I see your point. If I had to do a prop on here, I'd probably do fights go the distance.
Maybe over 2.5 rounds.
1 sec, actually. Can we pause real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man, I think Kayla Harrison's going to get the job done. I think all things considered, like I said, if I had to do one prop, I'd probably do the fight to go the distance. I think Julianna is very competent on the ground. I don't think she's...
I'm sure that's like minus 250.
It's actually not. Actually, the fight to go the distance, it would be a plus 165 on BetMGM. Minus 235 for it to not go the distance. They're actually banking on it, the fight ending in a finish, which... I mean, it's possible, but Kayla Harrison, even in her PFL days, was never much of a finisher. She got the big one of her.
And Julianna's hard to finish.
Julianna's very hard to finish. Competent on the ground. I mean, this is the biggest compliment I can. She's a punching bag on the feet. I mean, she takes ridiculous damage.
She'll go out on her shield. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
there might be some value there.
I think Julianna is going to make this scrappy, especially late, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
Maybe like a fight will go to distance and Merab little parlay there. That might be a little good value there.
Yeah, let me see what that would be with our friends over at BetMGM. We're building a parlay as we go, Angel. This is a brand new thing we're doing on the show. We're building the parlay as we go. If you're gonna do Merab by decision, it's a minus 170. Put down $50, you'd get 210 back.
What does that put you at though? What's the plus on that?
Plus 320.
Plus 320 on that's not bad.
Great. No, but not great. So what do you think about this? I mean, I'm assuming I don't remember if you gave your official pick. You're in agreement with me on.
Yeah, I picked Kayla. Yeah.
Okay. So
the balls to pick Julianna though, right?
Yeah, I was kind of like, dude, sometimes you make wild picks. I don't know. Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer coming here.
I'm trying to stick to my guns these days. Like I'm trying to stick with my gut. Like not like
I got you.
Like if I'm like, because we'll get to a fight where I'm like, I've been debating on here later on where and I'll be like, this is where my gut's been. I'm going to stick with that.
Yeah, man, I get it. This one, Joe Pyfer, Kelvin Gastelum. These two are supposed to fight in Mexico City. Joe Pyfer had a tummy ache, couldn't do it. Elevation tent. We know the whole story.
He slept in the elevation tent.
He slept in the elevation tent, fucked him up. We know the whole story there. Nonetheless, he's a minus 400 favorite. Kelvin Gastelum, the former title challenger. He's now 33 years old. Not that old, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's been in a lot of wars. He's coming off a win over D-Rod in last June. He's won 2 of his last 3, actually. Can he stifle like the young Joe Pyfer, the hardest hitting man in the UFC? I'm not sure if you've seen the stats, so... Can he hand body bags his second loss?
I think he can, dude. Joey P, like, look, despite all the stuff going on in the media and all that, like, I think Joe Pyfer is like he doesn't need all the, like, if Joe Pyfer didn't have to do media, didn't have to be out there and literally just had to show up to fight, like, he'd be perfectly happy with that.
Yeah.
Like, that's very much his personality. Just fucking go train, get paid, leave. Like, that's his ideal way, I think. I think he should win here. Granted, fucking, I don't know, dude. Calvin's just been such a yo-yo for over the past few years, and he's just let me down so many times. I just don't know if I could ever like reasonably pick him against like a hard punching young 180 fiber who from Philly with like a fucking demonically good camp, dude. I mean, we're talking Sean Brady, Ali Alvarez, Rustin Rozaboyev, and a fucking sick coaching staff with Matt Serra in it. Like he is put in. And then like. Even with the Jack Hermanson shit, like it was a little bit too soon. He could have even won that fight, but maybe he would have been somewhere too soon, too quickly for his age and where he was in his fight mileage. So I think Kelvin's actually the right direction as far as like continuing. He should get a win. If he gets a finish, dude, goddamn, that's not good for Kelvin.
Yeah, I mean, I expect Kelvin Gastelum. I think at this point in his career, he is very much a gatekeeper. He's a top 15 gatekeeper, and there's nothing wrong with that. Man, I think he's going to give him some trouble. I think some exchanges can get a little bit dicey for Joey P in here. Kelvin Gastelum, even though he is older, like people forget, he has won 2 of his last 3. I thought the Chris Curtis, granted D-Rod fight was terrible, but the Chris Curtis one before that, he actually looked pretty solid, and I thought I had some good exchanges there. I think he's going to stifle him at times, but again, if he cared about dieting, he'd be a 170 pounder. He's older. He's been through so many wars.
Do you think if Kelvin wins here, like, could this be the start of something?
This could be. I mean, he's at an age where it's possible. Like, he's still. That's the thing that pisses me off about the guy. He still shows flashes. Just when you think he's done. Like, I remember when he'd lost 3 or 4 in a row and he got 50-45 by Whittaker. I'm like, okay, that's probably done. And then he'll like go and rattle off a win over Ian Heinisch, or it'll be D-Rod, or it'll be Chris Curtis, who kind of gives you like the moments to pause, be like, oh damn, okay.
But he hasn't been able to replicate what he did against that night against Izzy.
I mean, in the build up too. I mean, people forget he's knocking motherfuckers cold. So
and not even just, and he was also selling the fight too. He was playing into it, showing up at suit. You know what I mean?
Having his own world title and everything. Whenever Robert Whittaker pulled out, I remember.
Like he was doing shit right. It's just it's kind of sad that aura like went away, and he's still been relevant in the sport. Like he still gets brought up in conversations, but the fact that it's never been able to get back, it's kind of like. I'm not gonna say it's exactly the same, especially because he didn't become actual champ. But dude, it's almost Cody Garbrandt-esque. I mean, I don't know which one's worse.
Yeah,
pick and choose, right?
I'd say Cody, man.
I'd rather hold the title. I'd rather hold the title, never hold the title.
That's true, but at the same time, in terms of like declines, I think Cody's way worse.
He's not, but at the same time, Cody's not done either, though. But then he'll go and get a same thing, though.
Yeah, I know that's the problem, right? They're very similar.
He knocked out, dude. But then he'll go fucking knock down Half Hella Sunset on the fucking bell like a badass.
Exactly, and that was the Sunset winner. Sunset still had some juice too. So like, I don't know, man. He's a tough guy. If I had to compare him, like I don't know. But
and it's funny, dude. He also tried to make the weight change. Granted, way worse for him.
That was way worse. That shit was indefensible. Even at the time, I remember thinking like, dude, like
looking back at
issues, not the weight.
I should have bet the house on Kai Kara by KO.
Dude, like I can't imagine getting knocked out repeatedly at 135 and be like, you know what thing I gotta do? I gotta drain myself down and become fucking Skeletor and hop on the scale, dude. Like
it's something he probably could have done younger and then transitioned to 135. Yeah. It was just not something. And dude, could you imagine him? He was already so fucking fast. I remember him
talking about it as far back as like 2016, like going down the flyweight and everything. I'm like, okay, he's young enough. Like he's not a huge guy. I could do it.
I think
but then he went in like 2021 after being knocked out repeatedly. So it's like,
I think if he would have done it like when coming up, I think he could. Dude, like I'm saying, he's fast as fuck even now at his old age. Could you imagine him at 125? Yeah. That guy would have been Manny Pacquiao out there.
You're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong. Nonetheless, I got Joe Pyfer. I think Kelvin might give him some issues, but we'll see.
Joe Pyfer, no. Do you think could you see Joe knocking out Calvin?
I could see him getting like a TKO, like a standing TKO.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Could you see him getting a stoppage here?
Yeah, I could see him getting a stoppage. I wouldn't bet on it, but I could see it.
Kelvin's
incredibly durable.
I think if I did this, I'd probably do just like a Joe Pyfer straight bet.
Yeah, that's what I would do as well. I mean, if you look at Kelvin guys,
I maybe do KO for fun.
He's been submitted 3 times, never been knocked out. Never been knocked out in 29 fights plus a few on the.
Hey, granted, what a perfect time to bet on that, though, right?
Exactly.
Do you want to be the first guy?
Nonetheless, man, moving down. God, I'm psyched for this one. Mario Bautista, Patchy Mix, the former Bellator champion. We know the resume. It is stacked at 31 years young. He's 20-1. Wins over Magomed Magomedov, Sergio Pettis, Rafion Stocks, Koji Horiguchi, James Gallagher. And a few others, even a couple of UFC vets in there, like Andre Ewell, younger in his career, and so on and so forth. Nonetheless, man, Mario Bautista, we know the story. I feel comfortable saying one of the most hated men in the UFC. Is that crazy to say? I mean, I feel like on the scale,
him, Torres Finney, John Jones,
he's somewhere on there. We know last time out, he had one of the worst decisions of all time, defeating Jose Aldo in a fight where he admitted that his entire plan was to hold him against the fence and do as little damage as possible. And then later afterwards, coming out and be like, guys, it's not my fault Aldo didn't move out the fence, which I think is kind of fair. But still, if you're going in there and afterwards, you're like, yeah, that was my game plan, to just hold him against the fence and not go for a takedown. It's like, well, fuck you. That's not fun. Nonetheless, sticking on a guy who's an incredible grappler, decent on the feet, great grass tank, has the 5-round durability. I mean, what do you think about this fight, man? He's only a minus 185 favorite because, haven't seen him in the UFC, but it also short notice too.
He hasn't fought like in a year either to top it off.
Exactly.
And last time he fought, it was kind of like, as far as Patchy Mix performance, it was just kind of
yeah.
But at the same time, it seems like, and we know now he didn't want to be there. Kind of.
Yeah.
We kind of get into notions like, yeah, he didn't kind of want to be here. So, man, what are the values on this? I mean, dude. I don't know if he's gonna submit Bautista. He got fucking armbar by Corey Sandhagen, which I mean that's something that people have been bringing up. I'm picking Mix. I just think he's good. I think he's going to show up. He's going to show that this guy with this talent has been outside the UFC and now he's here. But dude, there's a lot of Bautista pickers out there. There's a lot of people thinking Bautista could win this fight, and I mean he certainly can. I'll be surprised personally.
Well, yeah, I mean, and to be fair here, I mean he's not riding a great winning streak, and that Aldo fight was terrible, but before that. He looked really fucking good.
Also, and we know this now more than ever. He's willing to do what he needs to do to win a fight. So
yes, he is. Yes, he is. Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think he'll win. Could he? I mean, sure, man. I mean, weird things have happened.
Is he the underdog now? What's the
He's a plus 150.
plus 150 on BetMGM, obviously?
Yeah, on front of the show, BetMGM. Yeah.
Look, for me personally, pick a prop, maybe just mix straight. I also, maybe you could probably do mix sub too. And personally, if I did it myself, I go mixed decision just because it's a debut, short notice. Bautista might try to draw out the fight, maybe have a bad round in there where he, clinches him against the cage, makes the round kind of So personally, those are kind of like my options that I pick. Maybe a fight I'd avoid, but if you're gonna do maybe the best options out of the three, I'd maybe just a straight mix pick or Bautista pick, depending which way you're looking at it.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I mean, I think a straight mix pick is probably the way to go. I mean, he's only a slight favorite, so you're gonna get some decent value there.
I think you put like 3 fights together. You do Merab, Kayla, like Kayla distance, or over 2.5 rounds or whatever it may be.
Exactly. I mean, there's actually not a thing to go over 2.5 rounds yet, at least on BetMGM. Sometimes they add the props on later, but the only thing they got right now is fight to go the distance, which would be, plus 165. So either way, you'd be winning money if either one won too. So,
and like I said, you do mixing that, Joe Pyfer in there, maybe Joe Pyfer KO in there, go crazy with 4 picks. I mean, there's some options.
Go crazy. Nonetheless, opening up the card is a banger at welterweight. Neither one of these guys fighting for a title anytime soon, but they're kind of in that fun fighter sphere.
They're the dark horses of 170, though.
Maybe in 2020.
I mean,
dude. I mean, come on. I'm not gonna lie.
Former dark horses for sure.
Former dark horse. I like that. Silent assassin Vicente Luque.
That definitely now. That's probably the best way to put it.
At one point, dude, he was the dark horse. I genuinely believe that.
Granted, though, I don't know. Like the Luque thing is weird to me because, like, if he wins here, this shit gets weird with him.
That's true, because he would have won three of his last 4 then at that point.
That's what I'm saying.
And then he beat Themba, who was kind of rising up as a prospect, and
had a few wins. Kind of was one for Themba to come up. Luque
they were
maybe go down.
It seems like they're kind of setting him up there, but no, man.
But gotta say, matchmaking for Luque upon his return has been whoever that manager is.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. They've done it well.
Dude, RDA, then Themba, then Holland, which is I'd say a step up.
Yeah,
this is like. Who the fuck is his manager? Like this is done very well. Like I gotta give some credit when credit is due here.
Yeah, I mean he beat RDA, he lost to Buckley, beat Themba, now he's gonna fight Kevin Holland. I mean that's solid matchmaking for this point in his career.
I mean that's chef's kiss. I mean it's done properly and
all fights have been pretty decent.
Do you think he can get, if he wins this fight here? Do you think he can maybe get a ranked opponent?
Oh, I think he should. I mean, 3 of his last 4 and all notable names. I don't see why he couldn't.
God, dude, if the conversation next week is guys, Vicente Luque just submitted or knocked out Kevin Holland, who's the next ranked opponent at 170?
Luque is ranked 14, and he probably should have got a ranked guy before this after beating Themba, but
I feel like he's the sneaky guy. This is why I hate this fight, and this is the most conflicted fight I've had all week.
Yeah,
because then you have fucking Kevin Holland, dude, who just. It's just he just goes out there and does shit.
And just whenever you think like, oh man, Kevin Holland's done, he'll go out there and just somehow pull it off. Like he beat Gunnar Nelson last time. Like he had been dominated a couple of fights in a row with the grappling.
And then you think he might be Wonder Boy, and then he gets knocked out by Wonder.
Exactly. So he's a very hard guy.
Wasn't there an injury in that?
I think he broke his hand around 2 or something.
Some shit like that. Yeah.
But he was getting pieced up before that too. So I mean, he was. Yeah,
don't let him. What is it? 3070 or what did he say? What was the gun he kept mentioning? I don't even remember. Caliber bullet carry.
Yeah, I got you. I know what you're referencing though.
Yeah.
He's actually a minus 275 favorite heading this fight, which is shocking to me. Almost a 3-1 favorite, Kevin Holland. At that value, I'd take Vicente Luque. But if you're asking for my actual pick,
I do Kevin Holland.
I'd probably do Kevin Holland. Longer, rangier, hits harder. I mean,
maybe fight won't go to distance is always a potential.
Oh, dude. I mean, fucking hey, there's no way this one goes to distance. I'd be shocked. Either Luque
it shouldn't, right? Like I was thinking about that. I'm like, it shouldn't.
Either Luque cracking him and then getting a submission, or Holland just putting him out cold. I could see either one of those happening.
Dude, Luque will hop on that shit too. I was thinking about that too. I was like, dude, what if I come in here this week and I pick Vincent? Like the thoughts went through my head. I mean, I'm going Kevin Holland just to put it out there.
Yeah. Same here.
But part of me was like, shit, man, a little on the anaconda action here, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I could see it. I could definitely see Kevin getting caught in some shit.
Yeah, I could see it.
And I know he'll tap because he wants to stay active. So
yeah, you're not wrong.
Dude, you know what would be a sick betting prop they should add?
Huh.
If a fighter taps or not to a submission.
Oh, that's a good prop. I feel like some of these offshore like betting, like they do crazy shit. I'm not gonna reference any of them for reasons,
I don't know if they have it. I don't know if BetMGM has them, but I've known of books having like you can bet on the submission.
Yeah,
dude. If I could bet rear naked choke by Apache Mix, oh, dude, why the fuck not, dude?
Yeah, I saw one of the dude. Yeah, I get it. I saw like Some of those betting props are hilarious from some of those offshore books that are just clearly like I saw one yesterday. It was like because the Knicks fired their head coach. It was like Stephen A. Smith plus 6,000. I'm like, dude, who's the guy throwing money on Stephen A. Smith on this offshore fucking book? Dude?
Some maniac putting $1 down, maybe.
Yeah,
That's the thing that I'm doing now. We're like, so each week now, I make a $1 bet with all the available fights I can on.
I did that for a while. Yeah, none of them hit.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, no, I haven't had the crazy. I actually have one still going.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's not very far, but I bet I was like, fuck it, I'll pick all these big. And then I made sure that we were like very. I didn't pick every fight. I was just very particular about it, and I picked a bunch of them. I was like, fuck, it's just $1. If it doesn't hit, doesn't hit.
Yeah.
In a month, I'll lose what, $4? Still like, shit.
I got you. Yeah, man. I mean, the main card is really solid. If you're a UFC fan, this is the best thing you've gotten in months. Honestly, I'd say. Prelims, we'll move down. Bruno Da Silva, Joshua Van feels like. I mean, that should be a fun fight. Kind of setting up Bruno though.
Maybe KO by Van there too.
Yeah, it feels like they're setting him up.
What's the prop on that? Can you pull that up real quick? Van by a finish.
So he's a minus 700. So you're not going to get any value otherwise. There's no prop for a finish yet.
Not yet.
They typically add him on later on in the week, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, like you said,
I've been stressed too because I'm like, I want to see them because I want to build some shit.
God, Joshua Van, man, he's the fucking real deal, man.
I get it though. BetMGM always wants to put out the best betting lines though, so I get
it's
it.
True, it's true. Osmat Markov, great plug. Osmat Marakanov taking on Bretson Ribeiro. This should be okay at light heavyweight.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's an important fight for Osmat.
Yeah, I mean, he's coming in here 36 years old,
Isn't he ranked? Isn't he like 14, 15 near the bottom?
12.
Yeah.
He's kind of time's ticking, man. 36 years old, got to get going. But he's also undefeated and solid.
No, I mean, just he needs to get his name out there, be active.
Yep. Sergey Spivak.
He's fought like one time per year, by the way. I did look into this.
Really?
Yeah, like actually, if you go look at his record, it's been one fight per year.
What is with these guys, man?
I don't know. I mean, he's also been in Russia, with all that going out there a few years ago too. I'm sure that slowed that down. And
yeah,
I don't know if the UFC brass is particularly interested in him or they care to book him at all. I don't know if the matchmakers, how they view him or value him.
I don't know how much they value him. So that's probably going to play a big role. But nonetheless, man, yeah, I mean, we have Sergey Spivak, Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Good fight. I think it's a good actual heavyweight fight.
It's decent.
I think it's important for the division too.
Yeah, we need some of these guys coming through and actually fighting and getting young blood. And I'm not a big fan of either one of these guys, but they're both sub 35. So as far as I'm concerned, they're young and heavyweight. Chaos Williams, Andreas Gustafsson.
Man,
finally getting to see Gus.
Hopefully. We're not there yet, but Andreas Gustafsson has been trying to make his debut for 6 months now.
Jesus.
He got signed last year. Like, I think over a year ago now, maybe even. Or maybe October. I don't know. At some point, he got signed last year as a contender. And he's been booked and rebooked, and it's just been a shit show. And I've actually been interested in seeing this guy fight because he seems, I don't know, I'm just curious to see how he's going to fucking do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, I'm very curious to see how he does. I mean, he seems to be an entertaining guy, has a good look, has a badass nickname, Bane. So a lot of fun stuff to like there. Yeah, man, excited to see him at 170. Move down to the early prelims. Ariana Da Silva, Wayne Kong. Excited for Wayne Kong, but I'm just trying to find out where Dr. Shing is. I mean, I just can't find her anywhere. I've been searching. I've been putting out flyers. I can't find her.
She said they just haven't reached out to her yet, which is unfortunate. But she's training really, really hard, guys.
Bullshit, dude. We got to get her on the show. Man.
Do you think would you actually want to, like not even like in a memeing way, like, would you actually be down to, like,
of course I'd be, dude, she's a fucking doctor who knocks out women in her spare time.
The Dr. Xingming interview and asking her about how she's hiding, like, her actual career to her parents would be, like, the greatest thing. Is like, well, Dr. Xingming, there is no hiding it now. I'm sure she made massive news in China because that shit's crazy.
Yeah. Probably. Nonetheless, this one, oh, man. Road to the UFC veteran, Chika Sarji out of Indonesia. Known for being the only man to lose to Weston Wilson in the UFC. Taking on Ju Sang Woo. They're setting him up here. This kid's 8-0, I believe.
By the way, I'm pretty sure, like, you wouldn't even mention this either. It's funny you brought that up. But what are, like, Mario Bautista's 2 losses is to, like, Trevin Giles?
Really?
Or Trevin Jones.
Huh.
Like, just, like, that's something he has now.
Anyways, man, this one, yeah, I feel like they're setting up our boy Jika here. Anyways, we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, dude. Trevin Jones had 6 fights in the UFC. He had 1 win. That 1 win was against Mario Bautista.
Damn.
And he got KO'd in the second round.
Gotcha. Yeah, Quillan Salakid also on the prelims taking on Yanel Ashmuz.
By the way, that fight, Should be good as fuck.
Should be fun. Nonetheless, and then also opening up the card, Markel Madero's taking on Mark Twitzky down at 155 pounds. So that's a fight that's gonna happen.
Yeah, this hopefully and ideally this should be better than last week.
I mean,
it should be. There's no way, right?
I don't know how it could be worse. I mean, if they have a main event, they're by default better.
Hopefully, everybody makes weight. We get everybody makes it healthy. No fucking seizures in the back. Like, yeah.
We'll see, man. Nonetheless, we're gonna move on to some news because we finally have some finality with Jon Jones, Tom Aspinall. We talked about this a little bit. We've been giving updates every week, just like everybody else. Tom Aspinall coming out this week on the Chael and DC show. Essentially, he didn't say this directly, but essentially confirming that Jon Jones fight's not going to happen. He will be fighting somebody next. He didn't name Cyril Gane, but that seems to be where the rumor is, and that's who they're leaning towards. Yeah, I mean, Angel, after 2+ years of Jon Jones as champion, over a year plus of Tom Aspinall as the interim champion, we're finally getting some finality. What do you actually? I think we're going 2 years as Tom Aspinall as interim champion, but nonetheless, you get the idea. What do you?
This shit was ridiculous, dude. The fact that I had to go through this shit, the fact that the heavyweight division has not had any movement, and also the fact that we just not ruined, but delayed this guy's career, and potentially we could have set up Tom Aspinall to be like potentially one of the greatest heavyweights of all time, at least like with what he has and like the talent he's shown, the fucking finishing capabilities he's had in the cage. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Keep in mind here, Tom Aspinall, very active before winning the title, and then he's only fought twice.
Also, he finished one of the other like boogeymen in the division, which was fucking Pavlovich.
Yeah, people forget. Pavlovich was kind of the guy. Everybody's like, oh damn, that's the next guy for Jon.
It feel like it was just to be Aspinall racking fucking title defenses if Jon didn't come back.
I mean, I mean, the rumor is, and say the rumor actually, this isn't a rumor. It was reported by Ariel Helwani that Jon wanted a certain number. The rumor has always been 30 mil. Don't know if that's confirmed, but around 20 million, 30 million. He said way back in the day, he wanted what Deontay Wilder was paid against Tyson Fury, which I believe was 20 million. So probably that figure hasn't changed for big fights like this. According to Helwani, they met whatever number Jon wanted, and he still said no. That's what Ariel Helwani reported. And normally, sometimes UFC and guys will do this. That
was a mic drop moment.
They'll play the game. They'll be like, you know what? I don't want this fight, or I want this amount of money, and then they'll kind of play the game, and then they'll announce it. This is all authentic, according to all sources involved in the situation. He just doesn't want to fight Tom Aspinall, and I don't know if I've ever seen a fighter ruin their. And this is crazy because he's coming from Jon Jones, who's like, we talked about earlier, most hated MMA fighters, like this guy that multiple hit and runs and DUIs, allegedly beat his wife in front of her children. I mean, just horrific things.
Steroid allegations. Maybe not even.
Not allegations. Dude, he has so many failures that like it's a section on his wiki, bro. Like it's a whole UFC 182, UFC 200, UFC 232, like just the whole thing.
There's no other like major fighter that gets that overlooked as much as he does.
But the one thing Jon Jones always had was that he would win and he would fight anybody for the most part. Granted, we had the Chael thing where he declined him on 8 days' notice, which I didn't even think was an issue. And then he had to fight him later on.
And then they fought anyways.
Yeah. This is the worst way I've ever seen a guy ruin their career. I mean, if this is real and he's not going to fight him, I mean, there's no words. This is Jermaine Durand to me, Chris Cyborg. This is worse than that. Well, you know what I mean? Because at least Chris Cyborg was out suspended when Jermaine won the title, and she was like, I'm not going to fight her because she's on steroids.
It's also because he wasted not like just the fans' times, but like he wasted the UFC's time. He wasted a good opponent's time, and then he wasted like all the fan base's time, which was just fucked up because we're all sitting here like, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen?
And here's the thing: I was always actually going to defend Jon. This is a thing. Like it's funny, come for me, but I was going to defend Jon if it's like he wants $20 million because like, dude, this is the biggest fight they could make in MMA in the last 5 ever since like Conor essentially left. Ever since Conor Habib, this would be the biggest fight since then. You know what I mean? That was 6 years ago now, and he wanted a lot of money. And if they met that demand and he still said no, then that's just, I have no words for that. Like that's that's incomprehensible ducking. That is ducking that I haven't seen since my time since watching the sport. Because generally, man, we've had guys, the fights haven't happened, certain things that will happen. There's always an excuse. But if it's true that they met the figure and you're still not fighting him after saying that, all right, if I'm going to fight him, I need this amount of money and making this whole big show of it and still declining. I don't know what you say about that, man. Like, I genuinely don't know. I mean, it's just a complete waste of time. And I was always somebody who didn't think the fight was going to happen anyway, but I thought it was going to be because of the UFC not meeting his demand. Not meeting the demand, which he would deserve, of making a lot of money, because he'd be the reason why fans were there.
And we were critical of them too on this show, like of the UFC being like, dude, like, ball, come on, guys, you guys,
Ball's in your court, yeah. Like,
but then it became John's court, and it's kind of like, well, fuck, guys, I'm kind of sorry now too.
the ball was in the UFC's court, and then they gave it back to John, and John threw that shit out of the fucking court, man.
Just to reference one of my favorite moments in NBA history, just because I like making fun of this person, but it was like when LeBron gave the ball to Ray Allen, and he made Ray Allen shoot in the game to make him go to the next game against I think it was the Mavs,
the Spurs,
or it was the Spurs.
Yep,
it was literally that.
Yeah.
They inbounded the ball.
Except it would be like if like Ray Allen, instead of hitting the three, like he just shot it like and hit some fan in the 7th row. Like, yeah. I mean, that's it. That's all we got to say about it. Tom Aspinall. I hope you get a fight soon.
What do you mean, dude? Ray Allen is Tom Aspinall in this scenario. LeBron is
I see
John
what you're
John.
saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. All right.
And he's like, well, shit, I don't want this moment.
But Ray Allen had the open look, though. Why would you not pass to Ray Allen? This is a very weird take. This is a really off-topic thing to get into, but why would you not give the ball to Ray Allen in that scenario?
You're fucking LeBron James.
But isn't that like what you do if you're like an all-time great, though? You're willing to be like, okay, you can have this moment.
Dude, what do you mean? Mamba mentality, bro. Take every shot.
Well, yeah, but that's
take over moment.
Do you think Kobe's higher than LeBron all time?
Fuck no.
All right, cool. All right, I just got to make sure. Now I got to pull the playback up. I'm like, let me see where LeBron is in this situation, okay? 18, 16, 15. LeBron dribbling down. LeBron.
They had time to write up the play for him, too.
Here he goes. Misses the 3. Kick out to Ray Allen. Ray Allen, 3. Bang!
That's
tie game.
That was such a sick shot. That's honestly such an aura farming shot. Is there pictures of him in that? Like,
dude,
of that angle?
The Ray Allen 3. I mean, this is an all-time moment. This is like, I'm not even a fan of either one of these 3.
I will say though, it is infinitely cooler for it to be Ray Allen and
also
not LeBron.
That's like 38-year-old Ray Allen too. That's old ass Ray Allen.
That's the other thing.
Look
too.
at this shit, dude. Look at that shot.
Yeah, dude.
With Tony Parker on him.
The 38-year-old.
Is that a young Kawhi there? That's a young Kawhi Leonard on him too.
Dude, he has to be like 20-something too.
Yeah, I mean, you think
But you know Kawhi's like just turned 30-something.
Yeah, I think he's only like 32. Dude, mind blowing. Dude, remember that run with the Raptors, man? For 1 year, I don't care what anybody says. He was the greatest player on the planet. I don't care. I know that was like LeBron kind of in his prime, 2019, 2018.
It's crazy that team just dissolved.
Well, I mean, he left. There was nothing they could have done to keep him.
No, and the team was not going to be as good without him.
No, I mean they still had Lowry and they still had Pascal Siakam. They had a really deep.
But they had a deep roster. No, dude, like I saw a picture of it recently.
Dude, deep as fuck.
Jeremy Lin on there too.
Dude, yeah, they had like, I mean,
Fred VanVleet, like, who was like a G League player.
Didn't they have Marc Gasol too?
I
think so.
I don't remember. We can look it up later here in a minute, but I did see it. That the roster was insane, and the fact that it just got poached, like it was heartbreaking.
I know, and you know what? I'll always say this: people like will never give him the credit because technically, like KD got hurt. But I don't care, man. Like that same Warriors team. Granted, they lost Clay in the last quarter of Game 6 or whatever, but
it was Kawhi Leonard, Kyle Lowry, Pascal, a young Pascal Siakam, Danny Green, Fred VanVleet, Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, you're right, OG Anunoby, Jeremy Lin, Norman Powell, and DeLon Wright.
Yeah. That's an absurd roster. That's why I've always said that people are like, oh, damn, dude, like they only won because KD went down. Well, yeah, dude, but they were still a 73-win team without KD before him even fucking joining. Come on. Dude, you know?
I'm kind of curious to see, like, obviously you're a Thunder fan. I'm not telling this to, like, fuck with you at all.
But
but like, if Siakam wins another ring, holy fuck, like, what are the conversations for him?
Dude, he's an interesting guy, isn't he? You know? Especially
you remember me talking about him back in high school?
Yeah, dude, I remember because I remember he was playing in New Mexico State.
You remember I was going to write an article about him?
Yeah.
Like, that was a whole thing.
I don't remember that part, but I remember you being a big fan of the guy. Yeah.
I mean, this is back in the day when I was like watching a lot of college ball. I was doing like doing a lot of like rookie analysis and like getting ready for drafts and stuff like that, and really just trying to keep up with everybody. And like, I don't know, I just like watching guys play, and I was trying to grow my perspective on basketball and viewing it in like a completely different way. Where now, and granted, like this is going really off topic, but I mean, I really fucking don't like watching basketball because the game is trash. I think
It's changed a lot.
I think positionless basketball is fucking disgusting. And I think that the game being less physical is trash.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And like freedom of movement rules are kind of bullshit too. I think, I don't think more scoring leads to more entertaining. Genuinely,
I agree with that.
especially in basketball.
Well, and that's one of the reasons, like, as much as people shit on OKC, I think it's kind of ironic because, like, we are kind of a hard-nosed defensive team with fucking Chet and fucking Alex Caruso and all those boys. Like, they play hard ball, man. They get a bunch of steals a game. Like, so
but it's funny though because the whole story though going into this NBA Finals, I was talking to someone about this, talking to Oldhead. He's like, it's literally the best offense versus the best defense. Like, fucking OKC best offense, Pacers best defense.
And I gotta tell you, man, objectively, as an OKC fan,
I'm worried. I'm excited for the finals. I hope it's competitive. I hope it's not a blowout. Which people are saying, if it is, good for the team that does it.
People are saying OKC. Like I saw like the minus 700 favorite. I'm like, that's insane to me. Because like if you actually watch the games, right? If you watch the games, and I'll be clear, I expect us to win in probably 6. But dude, if you watch the Pacers, they are really good at the things that the Thunder excel at. Like the things that like other teams falter and that's how the Thunder win. Ball secure.
Are they?
They're not great.
I haven't asked you about how healthy is the team.
Oh, the team's. I mean, that's kind of the thing. We dealt with injuries all year, but we're the healthiest we've been all year. We didn't have Chet.
I mean,
we played him at all.
They were smart though. They sat that motherfucker out there,
dude,
and I get it though. I mean, I don't shit. Can you?
Well, and you got to remember too, like Chet didn't play the Pacers at all. I think we played 4 times during the regular season. He didn't play.
I need to look up at those stats later. I know you can look up matchup stats for how I need to look up matchup stats for this year against the Pacers. I'm actually kind of curious how those games went.
Yeah.
Do you know who won that series? Like who won in the regular season? That just out of curiosity.
Just I want to say
put Pacers OKC head to head, and that should pull it up. Hopefully it pulls it up.
Thunder won. They played him 4 times. The last 4 matchups, Thunder 3-1.
Shit.
Chet didn't play a single game.
Is that, are they calling it right there? 4-1 finals?
I mean, like I said, I think we win at 6, but dude, like there are certain things that the Thunder struggle with. Because they key in on certain guys, they leave the corner threes open a lot.
Give me a gritty game 7, bro. Fuck it. Make it crazy. Make it exciting.
Dude, I think these are 2 young teams. It's going to be gritty, bro. I think these people that are like Thunder and 5, I think you're crazy.
Wouldn't you be heartbroken if it was a blowout on either side? Because, like, yeah, it's cool if your team wins because it's like, holy fuck. But at the same time, it is like, damn, they ran through him. But damn, if you saw them boys going out there, and it's like, fuck, now we're at home. Now we're going back. You know what I mean? Isn't that infinitely cooler? Where
I expect
you're like, dude, that was the fucking series my team won. They didn't just blow them out. They fucking fought their heart out.
I find it so hard to believe we're going to get rid of Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal and 4 or 5. I just don't see it happen.
Well, dude, and you only named like a few names. There's infinitely more names.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying, like, those 2 dudes are
their roster depth is underrated, too. Like, they got a pretty deep.
TJ McConnell at backup point. I mean, they got like a really very underrated roster. So, and I watched that Knicks series, dude. I expect it to be a very fun series. I expect it to be close. I think we win in probably 6 hard-fought games.
I'm about to say, you did see Halliburton falter, though, one game. And he can't have that happen again. Yeah. If he does.
Yeah,
I mean, and Shea's been lights out the whole series.
Shea has been lights out, man. I mean, he's been the whole playoffs. I mean, he's had like 1 or 2 bad games, but for the most part, he's been really, really solid.
But nothing compared to that Halliburton game, though.
No,
he went like something.
Yeah,
something bad. All his points were from free throws.
Huh.
And it was 12 points.
Weird. I didn't see anybody talking about that.
It was 12 points. It was such a bad performance. It's like, who gave a fuck?
Yeah, I get it. I'm just being a dick. But yeah, I mean, it realistically. The series may be over by the time we do this pod next. So I mean, I think if you want my
is that actually possible?
Mathematically? I mean, if they do, if
they do a sweep, is that actually possible? Can you pull that?
Let me see. I believe if it's a sweep, I think it'd be over next Tuesday, right? So how math would work.
Let me look this up. For some reason, I don't feel like that's right.
I don't think you're right. I think it would need to be.
If they swept them, it would be done by Friday next week.
Okay, thank you.
But if it goes game 7, dude, June.
I forgot about the 3-day spacing. Okay, my bad. Okay, I'm thinking of the previous playoffs like series.
I hope it's just crazy, man. I want like a wild NBA Finals, dude. I want some crazy shit.
And I can't even blame people for being like not interested in the NBA because you think about the finals. The last few finals have sucked. The last good one was honestly your Suns against the Bucks.
And even then, that sucked because
the Suns lost. But I was rooting so hard for them too, dude. I want to see CP3 win a ring so fucking bad. You know, like
that's because they got a fucking reverse swept. It's just like, damn.
Yeah, but then think about what happened after that. Okay.
And good for Giannis, you know?
That was 2021. What happened in 2022? That was the Curry Warriors, and I don't give a fuck about them.
Which was like, holy shit. But that was cool because it was like, oh my God, what the fuck? They just did that out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, but I still hate the Warriors so much. I just couldn't care. But then you have like the Nuggets winning, I think 5, and then you think you had last year.
Who'd they play in that?
They played the Miami Heat. Well, I think we're the
Oh
eighth
yeah,
seed.
that was like an underwhelming ass. Yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
shock. It was weird. Yeah, but they
And then-
won.
And the next year you had Boston. Last year, Boston, Dallas in 5. So both the last year NBA Finals have ended in 5 games.
Wait, last year was Boston and Dallas.
Yeah, that was the Kyrie Luka.
They made it to the final. I don't even remember that. That's crazy.
It ended in 5 games. That's why. And it was a gentleman's sweep too. I think they went up 3-0.
Also, like I think it was like super meme because of Jason Tatum and all that. You remember
Yeah,
all that?
yeah. And nobody likes Jason Tatum for whatever reason. I mean, he's kind of corny, but like he's not the worst guy in
Damn,
the world.
damn.
I mean, he just is. I mean, it's not mean.
You did him
I
like
also don't. I also hate Boston too.
You
so-
did him like Michael B. Jordan, bro. You called him corny.
I mean, I just don't like. I just don't like.
I thought it was corny. I thought it was a corny guy.
Anyways, man. Anything else you want to talk about before we go and bounce out of here?
Nah, that's it,
All right.
man. I'm excited to come back next week and recap the pay-per-view. And also, like I said, it's gonna be when we come back, 6 straight events of being outside the Apex will be dope.
Mm-hmm. Very excited, man. Very excited. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode at Courtside Sound. For all things related to the channel, at Josh and Angel Ortega for me, at Angel Ortega _01 for all things related to fighting. Hope you guys enjoyed. Peace.